So I've been a musician for a number of years, playing in bands, playing shows, recording music, my own original music, and this world is a massive part of my life, and music in general is a massive part of my life. So I wanted to take what I do now, YouTube and music, clash these worlds together and just talk about it in a video. And if you want to see more autism related content like this one, make sure you hit the subscribe button and the notification bell to let you know when I upload to the YouTube channel. But anyway, let's get into it. Well, hello into people, hope you're doing well. Now, I've been playing guitar for a number of years. I started to play the guitar when I was 9, but I only started to get serious about playing music, joining bands about 2012. But in the here and now, I'm in a band called Sonic Void. I've been with them for 5 years. They are my musical brothers in arms. Godsend is the last single that we released. We're looking to record more. Check that out along with everything else that, is linked down below of previous projects and songs and stuff. So the first point of how playing music can help autistic people: motor skills and coordination. With playing an instrument like the guitar or playing drums or any kind of instrument, it comes with hours upon hours of practice. Whether, well, for me, I'm talking about the guitar, but you could apply this to any musical instrument really, whether it's playing a chord or playing like a riff or something, or learning to do arpeggios and all of these different things that come with being a musician, and a guitarist especially. It comes with this thing of practice kind of makes perfect. It's not just about playing the notes correctly, especially in my eyes. It's about making sure the motion is fluid and you're not making mistakes. And by practicing scales, practicing just all of the things that you need to do in order to be a musician in general, it just kind of helps. And also as well, when it comes to coordination, I think this is mainly for things like drums, because with drums, you obviously have, your bass drum, so the thing that you beat with your foot, and also your sticks, playing the snare, playing the hi-hat, and you got your cymbals, you got your ride, you got your toms. Something like that, especially if you practice it, can really help just improve coordination between your hands and your feet. Now the second point to this video, it's all about creativity and expression. Like, this is my favorite point of this video, because honestly, music has helped me in a massive way by allowing me to, be able to write my own music, write chord progressions for Sonic Void, but also it allows me to express myself, not through words, because sometimes saying what you mean in your head and trying to explain it to someone is just overly complicated and stressful, especially for someone who is autistic, who finds it difficult to express themselves in that way. For me, music, there's no rules. There's literally like no kind of social etiquette. There's no kind of, you must do this in this order. As someone who has written songs in the past, I did sing. There's a SoundCloud account, just go check it out, just roast me, just honestly, I can't listen to it. But things like that can be incredibly therapeutic for autistic people. It's a way of expressing my feelings. I mean, for example, that song that I promoted earlier, Godsend, when Jay, the singer, brought it to the band and I was trying to learn it, I couldn't get it because it's a 4/4 beat. It's a 4/4 beat all the way through, but it's just the rhythm, I couldn't get it in my head because I was so used to just playing like da 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 1 2 3 4. I wasn't used to playing like So this frustrated me, and I just needed a way to vent this frustration because I wanted to get it right and it was just annoying me so much that I just couldn't get it. So I ended up going away and thinking, right, what's the most annoying time signature that I can come up with? And then it just came out of the blue that I like 3/4. Let's write something in 3/4. it's our opening song for most of the sets that we do, so yeah. Now the third point into why music can be helpful for autistic people is music is therapy. I think I've already mentioned this already or referenced it at some point. It is a way of lowering anxiety, whether it's just listening to music. I mean, out there in the human realm, I will go around with earphones in my ears listening to music. Not because I am some hipster person that is hippie and stuff. It's more for me to stay grounded in the moment and not actually just lose my cool or in other words, lose my But also as well, you know, music therapy can also be, you know, helpful to get kids communicating. If they're, you know, someone who doesn't communicate all of the time, they go after music therapy, something that they enjoy, you know, they generally feel a lot more relaxed. Maybe they're playing an instrument together, I don't know. But ultimately, as a musician who is autistic, I find music to be very, very therapeutic. I do music because it's a therapy for me. I don't want to go and talk to someone about my feelings. I want to be able to just get into my bedroom and just go. Fourth point of this video, empowerment. Ultimately, at the end of the day, music gives autistic people around the world, whether they are neurotypical, autistic, or duck, a sense of empowerment. I don't know why I went duck. I was just like, duck. Most of us who are autistic are not the most confident of people. And quite honestly, if I had a pound, like a pound coin, every single time that I saw an autistic person doubt themselves about their own ability, I'd be a millionaire. You know, it's just such a common thing among autistic people. Obviously, if you're not autistic, you can doubt yourself about your own ability in doing things as well, but it's just something I've noticed heavily in the autistic community. And this whole thing about self-doubt can come from being bullied in the past and rejection. I mean, it's something that I've experienced. I mean, up until a couple of years ago, I was genuinely scared of sharing my ideas with bands, you know, bands that I was a part of. Not because I, you know, didn't have ideas, that wasn't it at all. It was just, you know, either I was in a bad place, so I wasn't in a good state to write, or I had ideas but I was scared that the ideas were gonna, you know, be laughed at and mocked at because it wasn't, you know, the best idea in the world. But I think that's the beauty of music, you know, and being surrounded by the right people, of course, as well. Like Sonic Void, you know, Dave, Jay and Jamie, you know, have honestly helped me massively, because when I joined the band I didn't want to share my ideas. I felt like I couldn't because of that fear of rejection, but once I started to share my ideas, like that 3/4 song that I was talking about earlier, that was the first song that I brought to the band. We started working on it, you know, I felt amazing in myself. I felt valued, I felt that, you know, I felt a sense of being wanted, and also it just really helped my self-esteem. And that is something that music can do in the right environment. But while music is an empowering thing for autistic people, it's important to remember that, you know, while the down the rabbit hole scenario, that 3/4 song I brought to the band worked, there are other song ideas that I've brought to the band that have fallen through, whether it just doesn't work with the band, or, you know, it's just, you know, not right for right now. It doesn't mean that I've failed. You know, just because I've brought a song idea to the band and it hasn't worked doesn't mean that I've failed or the band's failed. Sometimes that's just how life works. You know, you might bring an idea and it just falls through. That's okay. You know, I think being a musician, you kind of have to persevere. It's like being a YouTube creator, actually. It's like, I'll make a video, I think it's the most amazing video in the world, it might not work out, it might completely flop because algorithm and, you know, people just might not like the video. That's just life, you know. And I think by, I guess, having that sense of success, it can push you forward, but it's ultimately remembering that just because something hasn't worked out for you, you know, like a song idea hasn't worked out, it doesn't mean that you failed. Fifth point as to how music can be helpful for autistic people, and you'll be saying to yourself, why hasn't Andy talked about social communication. Why hasn't Andy talked about the social implications of music? Well, this is this point. Social development. Yay, I finally gotten to the most obvious point. When it comes to music, you know, it involves other people, especially if you're working in a band or, you know, a youth orchestra, or, you know, you're in a music group, you know, you're learning to play guitar with other people around you also playing guitar, or whatever the case may be. And also as well, there's music courses as well for those who are teenagers, you know, getting out of school, you go to college, what do you want to do? Be a guitarist, because that is just hip. I'm laughing, but that's exactly what I did. At 19, I did a music course, did my level 2 for a year, and then I did a level 3 for 2 years. It was the best time of my life. Like, a lot of my close friends that I still talk to now and still see came from my time at college doing music. You know, it's just one of those things that music can do, which, you know, is kind of obvious, but I think for autistic people, it's massively important thing to a lot of us. You know, making connections, whether it's friendship or relationships, whatever it might be to you that you see as important, but music can be one of those things. I'm definitely not saying it's easy, you know, it's something that can be a byproduct of doing music. And actually, if you want to see a video where I talk about making friends and stuff, check out the video up there, and hopefully it can help you if it's something that you're struggling with. But as well, if you're in a band, you know, if you're autistic and you're a musician and you're in a band, you can see other bands, local bands. You might be gigging with another band. You can talk to other people in this band. It's social interaction, and it's all jazzy and wonderful. And it's one of the things about music which, you know, I don't think people realize that, you know, by doing music in whatever form you do it, it allows you to connect with so many people. And, you know, it's just amazing ultimately at the end of the day. And I hope this video has helped you realize that music can be helpful for those who are autistic. And if you want to see more of my videos, check out the videos on screen, hit the like button, subscribe if you want to see more. Stay you, stay indie, and I will hopefully see you next time.